Your food prices are about to explode and no one is telling you why. Let's decode this. So urea, it's a white powder. Farmers इसे spread करते हैं field पर. इनके बिना crops grow नहीं करते. Without synthetic fertilizers, scientists estimate the global population would be half its current size. Now, where does urea comes from? Natural gas. That is a raw material. 80% of the cost of making urea is gas. And the world's biggest gas exporters are Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE and Iran. All sitting behind one narrow waterway. Quite famous by now, the Strait of Hormuz. February 28, the war began. March 3rd, Petronet LNG India invoked force majeure, as in LNG vessels could no longer safely reach Qatar's terminal. India cut the output at 3 of its own urea plants. And guess what? Qatar's QAFCO, the world's single largest urea producer, supplies 14% of the world's urea alone, shut down completely. So what happened to the prices? February 27, urea was $482 per ton. Mid-March, urea becomes $720 per ton. 50% spike in 2 weeks. Ammonia is up 24%. Phosphate crossed $700 per ton. Nitrogen fertilizer prices could double from the current levels. And timing is another one setting things into problem. Spring planting season runs February to May. Northern Hemisphere farmers order fertilizer in March to apply in April and May. And right now, the American Farm Bureau Federation wrote a letter to unclear Donald Trump warning this threatens national security. Now, India specifically, India needs likely 70 million tons of urea by August 2026. Current stocks are approx 6.2 million tons. Expected domestic production is 10 million tons. Shortfall can be maybe around 2 million tons. And India sources more than 40% of its urea and phosphate from the Middle East. 60% of its urea imports are from the Gulf, 100% of its potash imported, and zero domestic reserves. And the Kharif sowing season, India's biggest, starts June. The fertilizer needs to arrive before that. The buffer stock India has lasts only till May 2026. After that, India is racing against the clock, and guess what? What if no fertilizer? Of course, lower crop yields leading to rise in the food prices. The war may end in months or so. The food inflation lasts 12 to 18 months after. Forget petrol, forget the rupee. The missile that will hit every Indian household will arrive not in warhead but in a grocery bag. Maybe 6 months from now. Follow because the food crisis has not started yet, but the clock has. Subscribe on YouTube.